It diagnoses 10,000 different car models and over 160 different car brands, of which you just download for free lifetime updates. That is so appealing, it really is. You can take that anywhere with you. So firstly, well done for finding this video. It shows that you're interested in car diagnostics and you've probably made a decision that you're looking to get one. I promise you, getting a diagnostic tool is probably one of the most useful tools that you're going to have in terms of trying to understand what is wrong with your car. I've said this all along, that cars these days are literally like computers on wheels. And what I got here could just be my favorite diagnostic tools out of all the ones that I've diagnosed over the years. And let me explain why. If you take, for example, the King Bolan K7 or the Autel's, these are lovely bits of kit. They are dedicated devices that have all of the functions on there. They're touchscreen to work with your car. This particular one, you use a cable. But they all have something in common, is that physically they are a large size. And if you're moving around a lot, and even if like me, you're often on flights and things, they can be a bit bulky to carry around with you because they can weigh a little bit too. Even the iCar Softs as well, as much as it's a smaller device, it's still a little bit bulky. But what we got in our pockets, ladies and gentlemen, is your mobile phone. And this can be now your diagnostic tool. And I'll explain why. The Ediage Elite, this little guy here, plugs into your OBD2 and then it connects to any smart device, i.e. mobile phones. But not only that, you can actually link it to a little tablet that you got. So you might already have the hardware. You can turn your tablet at home into a diagnostic tool for your car just using this little dongle, this little adapter. And by the way, don't think because it's small, it's not going to give you all the functions. This gives you 15 plus resets. It does things like DPF regen, brake calibration. It does your steering angle sensor. It even does things like your oil reset. And the best thing about this is that there's free updates. There is no annual fee. And the cost of this unit actually is less than some of the subscriptions for these diagnostic tools behind me. Once you bought it, that's it. You can connect it to whatever device you have, turning it into your own personal diagnostic tool. That is not to be sniffed at. I've done a review on the Ediag Plus, and it's a very similar idea. Plugs into your OBD2, you can use your mobile phone, you do the software, etc., and then you're away you go. But on that particular unit, after 2 years, the actual device stops working. It doesn't just have old software. You physically can't use it unless you pay that subscription cost, of which this is cheaper than that subscription cost. So as I said, this to me could just be my most favorite device. And before you think to yourself, well, a mobile phone, that's a bit small, I'm not going to see what I'm doing. Let me show you this. iCar Soft actually has a smaller screen. And yet I've been using that. This is one of the first diagnostic tools I ever got. I still love it and I still think it's fine. Yet my mobile phone is bigger than it. You actually feel that it's more substantial because it's got this bezel around the edge, but actually the working screen is smaller. That's also the same on my little Launch Benz Elite. Again, the screen is even smaller on that one. And even a recent one that I've done, which is this excellent little Ediag. Again, it looks like a big screen, right? My mobile phone is actually bigger than the actual working size of that screen. So this Ediage Elite also has the newer CAN buses like the FCA and the CAN FD. It's bi-directional and Bluetooth capable. It has live data and activation tests, things like your windows, your doors, your sunroof, your AC, your lights, your handbrake. You can actually do live testing with it. It does your Android and it works with Apple. It comes in 22 languages, 160 car brands, and it does over 10,000 different car models. And the cost of what this is less than £100. It's 80 something pounds at the moment. And not only that, I've actually got a little discount for you as well down in the description. Enough talk, gonna get it open, then we're gonna get it straight on the car and have a real life demo of what this thing can do. Oh, look at this little case here. Let's give you an idea of the difference. There's my little King Bolan. There's my big King Bolan. This is what I'm talking about. Imagine carrying this around with you, but you don't need to worry about that because all you need to do is have this little guy here. I love it. I really do. Sometimes Good things come in smaller packages. Look at it, that is it. There's not a lot to look at here. Let's get it straight on the car, but that for me is beautiful. Just here, you got your activation code, don't lose that. Scan the QR code, pop in the details, follow the instructions. But you know, this is what I'm talking about. Imagine that, you go all over the world, just pop that in your pocket, smaller than a mobile phone. You got your mobile phone with the diagnostic tool on it. You can diagnose 10,000 different car models. Come on, let's go and have a look at the car and see what she's all about. Have a look at this. That's my diagnostic tool. You can put it on your keyring, carry it everywhere you go, lifetime updates. It diagnoses 10,000 different car models and over 160 different car brands, of which you just download for free, lifetime updates. That is so appealing, it really is. You can take that anywhere with you and help people out, and that's what it's all about. Now, I'm in my Mercedes SL today, and I've used diagnostic equipment with Bluetooth and via my phone before in the past, and there's a couple of things which you need to know just before you get going. Remember, you're using your mobile phone, or you maybe have a tablet, etc. But if you are using a mobile phone, that you're going to have this connected probably to your car through different Bluetooth devices like your stereo or your hands-free. And for me, I've got my little Bluetooth module in here, which connects to my mobile phone on the Bluetooth, but I also have it connected to something called Mr. 12 Volt, which does all my Bluetooth music streaming. So the best thing to do is to switch off the connection to those devices so that the only thing that your phone is talking to in terms of Bluetooth is going to be your little Ediag Elite. So the lovely thing about this, obviously I'm using my mobile phone, it means I can just record the screen and you'll get a nice clear image of what's going on and how to actually use the diagnostic tool. So if you have a look at my phone just here, it says MB phone system. That is my Bluetooth music streaming. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to disconnect. But it also has MB car kit, which is the phone system. So I'm going to go in there and disconnect that as well. So now this phone hasn't got any devices connected via Bluetooth. And importantly, when we connect the Ediag Elite dongle, it's then going to pick that up nicely. So this plugs into my OBD2 port, and in any car, the regulations are that it needs to be within 1 meter of the driver. You may find it's behind a panel. You may find it's underneath here where the pedals are. Make sure you push it all the way home, because sometimes you don't quite get the connections correct. Straight away, we've got a nice green light that comes on, and that green light will start to fluctuate between green and blue as it talks to the mobile phone. Now, I've already got the software set up because I've got another device which is by Kingbone called the Ediag Plus, and that you have to actually pay a subscription every 2 years, otherwise it stops working. But this little fella, the Ediag Elite, you don't. It's free updates for life. So here's little tips for you before you do anything, and this is why I do these videos, is to try and help you, because I've learned this from the past. It took me a little while, but once you know what you're doing, it's pretty straightforward. Now, on the top there, you'll see that it says All System Diagnostic. You've got all these different car brands, of which I said there's about 160 plus. So if you're in the Mercedes or you're in a Ford or whatever, download that specific software first. And you do that by pressing All System Diagnostics, and then at the bottom, as you start to scroll up, you can see that I've got Mercedes-Benz. I've already done that ahead of time. But if you've got a BMW, then you download BMW, etc. Once you've downloaded the software, then it's going to work quite happily with your device. If you just press VIN selection, it doesn't have the specific car software to know what to look for. Now, the second thing I suggest you do, if you go into the little man at the bottom on the right-hand side and go down to firmware fix, and make sure you've got the latest firmware. So just hit it and then press firmware fix, and it's going to update. Make sure you get your data on your phone. It's going to update, and you hear the beeps on the Ediag Elite, the software through your Ediag Elite dongle. As updating, just takes about 10-15 seconds or so, but make sure you do that first, and then you're good to go, and it will be that way for months and months to come. And just as I'm doing this, what I mentioned initially when we got in the car, if you look at the second point down, it actually says keep the Bluetooth connection and network signal unobstructed. So there we go, firmware's installed successfully, so just exit out of that. So with your firmware now updated, go back to the little diagnostic icon on the left, and let's go and run a diagnostic. So press the top button, All System Diagnostic, and now go and choose your car. So for me, Mercedes-Benz. You can also add that as a favorite, so if you've got various cars, you can quickly find it. So now press Diagnose at the bottom. Tells you it's connecting to the Bluetooth. You'll hear some beeps. And one of the things to do is just make sure you've got the key so that all the lights are on the dashboard. You don't have to start the engine, you can do if you want, but you need to make sure that you've got it so that the lights are showing there, and that way all the control units in your car are turned on, ready to go. Now, automatic selection or manual selection. So now you're going to choose the year of your car. For me, it's 2004, so I'll select the middle one. And this is where you get your three options, your three report styles. The first one, health report, it will give you a report as a PDF, if you want to, of all the issues that it finds on the car. It gives you the breakdown of the fault code, what that actual fault code is. It tells you how many faults you've got, but also tells you all the items which have passed. And the system scan is going to look at all the control units on the car that the Ediage Elite can talk to. And the last one is your system selection. So let's say you've got a problem with an ABS sensor. It can take about 5 or 6 minutes to run through a whole scan. So to save a bit of time, you can go straight to the ABS module and do the troubleshooting that way. So today I'm going to go into health report. And it says, do you want to carry out tests? Yes. Switch on ignition, that's when I said just have all of the lights that are on the dash. Press OK, and it's running through. So I'm going to see you in a few minutes. Just whilst it's doing this, have a look at the dashboard. You'll see that certain lights and things will come on just as it runs through those control units, such as a brake warning light, etc. Don't worry about it, it's only momentary. So a little update for you is that I had a little problem trying to get a full scan. It kept getting stuck at about 65%, and I've read a few other people have said the same thing. However, I contacted the supplier, they were very kind and said, try uninstalling the app and reinstalling it again, because I already had the app on my phone. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and what I'm going to do is just use the paperwork that came with it, scan the QR code. Takes me straight to the Play Store for me. Comes up. So let's press install. And let's open up the app. I'm going to go into my profile just to see if it's got anything there that I need to log in. Okay, so I've logged in and there's a nice little green tick next to my Ediage Elite. I do remember that actually when I first opened this, because I already had it installed, it said the Ediag Plus, which is another diagnostic tool. Maybe there was a bit of a confusion. So let's go and run another scan. Let's get the OBD Ediage Elite, plug it in and see how we go now. So now I'm going to re-download my Mercedes software, because that's obviously the car that I'm in. Let's download that. And you can do that for any car, as I mentioned. That's a lovely idea about this. And I really hope this does fix the problem, because I want it to work. It's so convenient, it's so small. I mean, look at this little thing. You can just put it in your keyring. I love the thought of that, plus the free updates for life. It's got a lot of appeal. That's if it works. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to update the firmware, because I've redone the software. Right, so let's go back and try the scan again. So I'll see you on the other side. And despite my best efforts, I just couldn't get this to work as it should do. It still keeps getting stuck at 65%. King Bolin, to be fair, they were very good. They came back to me and they recommended I uninstall the software, I reinstall it, delete it off my phone, all that sort of stuff. Did exactly that. Problem was exactly the same. So sadly, I can't say to you, I recommend the product, because it just didn't perform for me on the day. I may find if I try it on another vehicle, it will work absolutely fine. But that's my point, is that I want to have confidence that it'll work on all the vehicles that it actually claims that it will do, which is 10,000 plus vehicle models and 160 brands of different car. And if it's not working on Mercedes, they're not really inclined to then go and try it on other cars to see if it might work with that one. One of the other things I also noticed was when it was running through the report, and it did some of the diagnostic modules on the car, some of them it said that I didn't have it installed, such as the parking sensors, which I absolutely do, such as the keyless go, which I also have. So I've kind of not got a lot of confidence. And it's a real shame, because I wanted this one to be one of the best recommended products that I've done, because it's so small, it's neat, it's versatile, there's no annual subscription, and the cost of what it is was only about 80 something pounds. But sadly, it hasn't performed on the day. So maybe if King Bolin do a software update and it works, I will do another video and I will update you. But on this occasion today, unfortunately, this hasn't performed and I can't really recommend it. And that's the whole point I do these reviews, is that I give you my honest opinion. I've done lots of diagnostic tools and I will say to you whether I think it's worth buying or not. I have got lots of other diagnostic equipment that I do recommend, and it's in this nice little playlist here at the end. Appreciate you watching and getting to the end of the video, and I'll see you on the next one.